Are we ready for Fortune Part 2? Are we ready for the new and improved Fortune? Hey everybody, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm here with my pal, Mr. Casanova. Long-haired little boy, very long-haired little boy. So today we are talking about Wheel of Fortune by Jana Delon, book 12 in the Fortune Mystery series. Here we go. And Fortune is a former CIA agent who's been hiding out in Sinful because there was $1 million price on her head by an arms dealer. And before this point in the series, her identity was a secret. Everything was a secret except that Ida Bell knew. And a couple of books ago, Carter discovered who she really was. So we have Fortune, who's our former CIA agent. We have her two best pals, her elderly best pals, former military people. They were in Vietnam. Ida Bell and Gertie. Ida is president of the Sinful Society. Gertie is her best friend. Carter is the deputy sheriff. He's also her boyfriend. Walter is Carter's uncle. Celia Arvineau is the enemy. Ida Bell is president of Sinful Wives. It's a little organization club for ladies over a certain age who are single. And Celia Arvineau is president of God's Wives. Their main duty is to get the ladies of Sinful. And so the whole bit with the arms dealer is over now. And Sinful has taken care of some business. And now she's back in Sinful and she's ready to tell everybody who she is. She's coming out of the closet. This is a whole new part of the series. We had our first part with Longshot, Lethal Beauty, Swamp Sniper, Swamp Team 3, Gator Bait, Soldiers of Fortune, Hurricane Force, Fortune Hunter, Later Gator, Hook, Line, and Blinker, and Change Your Fortune. So we did that. That was all Fortune in hiding. And then they've done the Ahmed thing. Now we're into Fortune coming out of the closet in Wheel of Fortune. And so she's coming back and she's telling everybody who she really is. And things start off a little slow. Gertie has entered the ladies in a fishing contest. Their object is to come in third place to get the beer. That was the important part, to get the beer. And they had a few little mishaps. And the person that's always won the competition is missing. He doesn't show up at the end with his prize. And it leads to thoughts and speculation of what happened. This guy's been number one for decades. So later on, it's discovered that the guy was found dead in his boat. And apparently it was arsenic, and apparently Allie, who is Sinful's best friend, she works at Francine's Cafe. And I forgot to mention her before, sorry. But she is one of the biggest friends. And Carter arrests her just on a formality, just to please the DA that he's doing things by procedural process. And when he goes to arrest Allie, Fortune kicks the window off Carter's truck so she can spend the night in prison with Allie. And Allie is later released. But I have to, if you're a fan of audiobooks, close your eyes in a minute. Wait a second, what page is it? The ladies are having some downtime, and Gertie has decided they're going to jump out of a plane. Two 60-something-year-old ladies and a young lady in her 20s are going to jump out of a really old rickety plane. Now, what could go wrong? I'm thinking here. Okay, so if you've done the audio books or not done the audio books, you should try them, especially this particular part. So pretend you're listening to an audiobook. Oh wait. Don't step on my computer. Okay, good. Alright. This is so funny. Uh, Gertie's chute deployed and she instantly righted and slowed. I waited another couple of seconds, getting as close as I safely could, then deployed my chute. I looked down and saw we were still drifting slightly toward downtown. So far, no gusts. I hoped Gertie had realized she was far from the landing zone and was preparing to direct the chute. But given her questionable vision and refusal to upgrade her glasses, that was a big if. For all I knew, everything looked like a big brown and green blob to her. But even Gertie's crap vision wouldn't fail to miss buildings once they started rushing towards her. We were about 100 yards from the ground when first gust hit. It pushed us over the middle of the bayou that paralleled to downtown. Given the local wildlife, that wasn't optimum, but the real danger was the current would grab the chute and pull her under before she could release herself from the harness. I had to be ready for a water recovery and hope someone with a boat readily available was watching and could help out. Get ready. We were only seconds away from landing when the next gust hit, lifting us both up a little and pushing into downtown. The bayou disappeared and the steeple of Catholic Church rose in front of me like a giant skyscraper catching rod. I saw Gertie grab for the toggles to change the direction of the parachute and held my breath as she narrowly missed catching herself on the structure. I cleared the building and scanned the grounds behind the church for a clear path landing. Unfortunately, the grounds weren't empty as normal. In fact, they were full. People, tables with food and drinks, chairs, tents, and one of those bouncy houses. It was some sort of party, and it was a big one, with at least 50 adults and children occupying a relatively small space. We were only seconds from plowing into all of them. Someone on the ground yelled and pointed at us, and people began to scatter. Unfortunately, no one knew which way to run, so they tumbled over one another and didn't manage to get out of the way. Gertie was coming in too fast to make a calculated landing, and I could tell by the way she was yanking on the toggles that she was having trouble controlling the direction of the chute. Even worse, there were power lines behind the church grounds. One good gust would put her right into them. There was no way I was going to catch her dangling in the air, so I did what any former CIA would do. I yelled a warning for those below, then released myself from my chute and dropped into the bouncy castle. Fortunately, kids were just starting to enter the castle when I dropped, so I didn't take any of them out with my fall. But as my weight connected with the giant pocket of air, the castle bowed and sent two of them tumbling backward out the entrance. I bounced once and did a roll, then sprang up and leaped over the fallen kids and ran after Gertie. She was only 15 feet or so above the ground and coming in hard. A table with a banner that read First Communion and held a giant cake and two punch bowls was directly in her path. I ran as fast as I could, but before I could reach her, she collided with the cake and wrapped her arms around it. It was the body's natural response to falling to attempt to grab onto something to stabilize you. But the cake was no match for the grown adult, hurtling from the sky. The entire cake came off the table along with Gertie and hit Celia Avenel right in the face, knocking her into the ground. Gertie released the cake on impact and reached for the next solid object in sight, a nun. She grasped the shoulders of the woman's habit, and I figured she could take them both down. But at that moment, a big gust of air caught her parachute and launched her upwards, still clutching the nun's habit. I leaped onto the table that held the cake and jumped as high as far as I could, trying to grab hold of Gertie's feet before she could do any more damage, but I was short about 2 inches. I, I hit the ground and rolled, then bounced back up in time to see the habit. Sorry. To see the habit slide over the nun and lift off with Gertie. I shut my eyes for a second, not wanting to see a nun in her delegates, or even with commando. Then I stared in surprise when the habit revealed bike shorts and a Van Halen t-shirt on a nun. The one with the toddler the one with the toddler angel smoking a cigarette. The nun screamed bloody murder, and I yanked the tablecloth from the table behind me and tossed it to her before sprinting off after Gertie. I had to catch her before she hit the power lines. Fortunately, the gust that had taken her skyward disappeared and she started to drop again. As long as another gust didn't materialize, she was going to miss the power lines, but not by much. She dropped the habit and was back to trying to direct the chute, but I don't think it was doing any good anymore as she was close to the ground. The cemetery ground. I turned up my speed to the final notch, trying to get close enough to help break her fall or prevent her from crashing into one of the mausoleums. But I couldn't reach her. She hit the side of one of the large cement structures face first, and the parachute looped over the cross on the top, leaving her dangling on the side like a sack of potatoes. Gertie groaned as I rushed up and helped her turn around so she was facing out. "Are you hurt?" I asked, scanning her up and down. "Is anything broken?" "I don't think so," she said, "but the day's not over yet." "What the heck are you talking about?" I asked as I worked on the straps to free her from the harness. "We're going straight home, and you're going to sit in a recliner for the next 40 years, even if I have to handcuff you to it." "There's a problem with the mausoleum," Gertie said. "No way you damaged this thing," I said. "It's concrete and has been here for at least 100 years. 152 years. It's Celia's family crypt." I stared at her in dismay. She grinned. Then she started to laugh. "She's going to kill me. Oh my God, what are the odds?" I stripped the nun and desecrated Celia's family crypt all in one swoop. That's got to be a record for me. "You didn't desecrate it. You didn't even put a scratch on this thing. I'm hanging on a family tomb in what Celia would consider my underwear." I paused. "Point taken. Let's get you out of here before she shows up." "Too late." So, to see the end of the scene, to read it for yourself, to crack up, to give yourself a chuckle for the day, to find out who the real killer of Hooch is, and find out how much more torture And I'm telling you, the last line of the book is to kill for. Uh, Carter, and this is a spoiler. Sorry, can't help it. Um, uh, uh, let's see. I'm going to say that I like it, but I understand you had to protect Allie. He looked out over the bayou and was silent for several seconds. Then he looked back at me. I don't expect you to be someone else. I mean, I'd love it if you toned things down some, but I don't think people really change. Not deep down. Not people like us, anyway. The leopard doesn't change its spots. That's a lot in truth. So you're okay with me sticking my nose in because it's against my nature not to? Is that it? Um, I won't say I'm okay with it, and I have to ensure my job is protected, or this town isn't. Meaning, if you have to arrest me, you will, without prejudice. I would expect nothing less. I'm glad we cleared the air on this. Why? You planning on becoming a permanent pain in my law enforcement backside? He was joking when he said it. He thought my interest in this case was only because of Allie, but I knew better. Allie was the fuel, but the fire was already burning before he'd thrown her in jail. Maybe, but with a little more authority. I pulled out the envelope that had been tucked under my leg and handed it to him. He opened it up and pulled out the contents. Then his jaw dropped. This is a PI license. I grinned. Fortune Reading, Act 2. Read it. And please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. It's just me reading books, talking books. I have no special equipment, nothing like that. If you enjoyed those page or two and you are cracking up with me, please read the books and please hit the like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job. I have no special equipment. It's just me reading books, talking books. And please hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe. And if you have already, thank you. But spread the word. Spread the word. I need people to spread the word. My pal here needs people to spread the word too. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. Thank you.